How's it going, everybody? I made a video about 3 days ago, I think that it was, talking about minimalism, and I got several emails from viewers asking me what that meant and what it meant to me, and to give them some ideas on, how to save money and to live a more simple life. As far as strict minimalism goes, that's not me. I'm a minimalist in that I don't like to buy useless things. I like to make sure that what I buy is something that actually holds value, or something that I can actually use to better my life. A pure minimalist, they want to live with as few items as possible. They want to have as few things as possible because that, to them, holds them down, holds them back, and makes their life more complicated. So they want to have, the bare minimum of things. To me, like I said, I want to have things, but I want to make sure those things are things that I actually need, and those things actually hold value. So I'm not against having things. I have, all kinds of different things, but everything that I have, I try to make sure that it holds value, or it has value to my life. There's nothing wrong, in my opinion, to having, a lot of stuff. It can hold you back, especially if you want to be, mobile. If you live in a van or something like that, then having less things is definitely a bonus, because you don't have to pack up a lot of things to go and put everything you own, in your backpack, or in a van, or in a small apartment, or living in a small camper or something like that. Minimal. But to me, I like to have different things because, I'm a prepper also, and it's difficult to prep if you don't have a lot of stuff. You need tools. You need things to prep with to make your life better, make your life easier. So I like to have a philosophy of, when I go to buy something, jet flying over, sorry about that, guys. So guys, I like a philosophy of, do I actually need this or not before I buy anything? And I try not to make, impulsive buys. A lot of people will go online, for example, and go on Amazon. They'll see something that, wow, I like that, order. Don't do that. Ask yourself very, very seriously, deep down, do you actually need this item? Will it actually benefit your life? Will it actually hold value? The dollar's losing value all the time. If you look at what the dollar could buy 10 years ago and what it would buy now, it's far, far less. So if you can put your dollars towards something that holds value and retains value, that's a good thing. So that should be one of the checkpoints that you look for, is, will your product you're wanting to buy, whatever it is, will it hold value, or will it actually gain value over time? So that's number one. Do you actually need it? That's another one to look at, and they're both, to me, equally important. You look at something, and if you think, I could live without this, it will add no value to my life, it won't retain its value, then don't buy that. It's as simple as that, because you're wasting resources that can be spent on something else. So, like, you go online, if you go to Walmart, if you go anywhere, and you look at something and it's real shiny and you like that, and you pick that up, don't impulse buy. You want to run through your thought process. Will this retain value in the long term? Do I actually need this? Can I live without this? Will this actually benefit my life? And if you answer no to those questions, then you're most likely, in most every circumstance, better off, not to purchase that. Save your money and buy something else. But like I said, I'm not, a pure minimalist. I like to have a lot of things. I have a lot of tools. I have things like that because, I'm a prepper. I like to garden. You need tools to garden with, and you need things to do things with. But those things all benefit my life. When I buy gardening tools, for example, I raise a garden. I need tools to do that with. So those tools actually pay for themselves because they hold and retain value. Plus, I work the garden with those, and I grow a lot of my own food. So see, they benefit your life. Things like that, to me, is something that I need. But if you don't raise a garden and you don't plan on it, then buying a bunch of gardening tools would be silly. So you got to ask yourself in your situation, is this something that you need? If you go to a secondhand store, a lot of people will, well, I like this, it's just a few dollars, and throw it in the basket. I like this, throw it in the basket. This book, I might read this one of these days, throw it in the basket. This whatnot, this widget, whatever, it's a pretty color. I like this, it looked good in my house. Throw it in the basket. Don't do that. Ask yourself, do you really need this? If you tried to go resell what you're buying, could you sell it for what you're paying for it or close to it? Will it retain some of its value? Do you actually need it? Are you going to actually use it? Those are the questions to ask. And if you don't need it, if it doesn't retain value, if it isn't going to benefit your life, then don't buy it. Save your money and invest in something else. So to me, I guess it's more of being frugal than it is being a minimalist, because like I said, a minimalist wants to get by with as least things as possible. They want to own as least things as possible. They want their house to have, a bed, a couch, something to cook on, a refrigerator. That's pretty much it. They want to have just a bare minimum of things. To me, it's more about being frugal. I don't want to buy anything that I don't need. That's not going to increase or at least retain its value. It's not going to make my life any better. I don't want to buy, just shiny objects. So to me, it's more about being frugal. And like raising a garden, eating cheaply, having chickens for eggs and things, to me, that is being frugal. Plus, added benefit is you get to grow your own food. You get to have your own eggs. You get to have your own fresh meat. And it's going to be a lot better for you health-wise than buying from the supermarket. Because, if you buy a lot of vegetables and things from the supermarket, they're not nearly as fresh as what you're going to get out of your own garden. I saw a few days ago that someone was saying that apples, for example, those apples you buy at the supermarket might be, a year old, been in storage. That's not good. If you can grow your own food, you know how old it is. You know what it's been through. You know what you've used to grow that. You know about your soil. You know what kind of pesticides you use, organic, hopefully, to get rid of, bugs and things to protect your crop. You know what you feed your chickens. So to me, that's an added bonus. And you can be more frugal by growing your own food. Plus, you get the benefit of having healthier food and gaining skills. The same thing with, fishing. I have a huge river not far from my house. I can go fishing in, catch fish to eat. All it costs is a fishing license and, a rod and reel. That's another investment. If you don't fish, you don't need a rod and reel. But if you fish, then you need, a couple of good rod and reels. You need some good tackle, and it will also help feed you more cheaply. So you can go fishing. Just like, hunting. If you are a hunter, you can hunt and you can take game, squirrel, rabbit, deer, whatever's in your area, and whatever you want to eat, you can hunt that in season, of course. But you need to have something to hunt with. So in that case, investing in a .22 rifle for squirrel hunting would be a good thing. If you want to deer hunt, investing in a 308 or a 30-06 or a 30-30 lever action rifle to deer hunt, that's a good investment because it retains its value. A gun always retains its value. So if you have, a 30-30 Marlin lever action rifle and you deer hunt with that and you keep that for 20 years, you'll still have that and it still retains value. You can use that, you can hunt with that, but if you ever had to sell that, you could sell that for probably more than what you gave for it 10 years from now. So that is a win-win, in my opinion. So, you need tools to do things with. Like I said, if you want to garden, you need gardening tools. You want to hunt, you need to have rifle. You need to have the right clothing to hunt with. You need to have things to hunt with. Like if you're squirrel hunting, for example, you will need camouflage clothing. You can do it without it, but it helps. You might need a head net to keep, to camouflage your face, plus to keep the bugs off. Having Insect repellent is also good. Boots, maybe snake traps to keep, if you out in the summer and the fall, you step on a rattlesnake, having some good boots on and some good snake leggings is going to be really appreciated when that snake strikes and you jump back and you say, I didn't even see that thing, and I stepped right on top of it because you're walking through the woods and you're kind of looking around the trees and things trying to find those squirrels. So you'll appreciate that, and it's a good investment. But if you don't hunt, then you don't need it. Like I said, you want to ask yourself, do you need this? Are you going to use this? Is it going to benefit your life? Does it retain value? I don't like to have, a lot of cash, because cash loses value. That currency loses value. You need some for emergencies. You need to have some, just to spend if you need to buy gas in your vehicle, to pay your bills with. To have cash is good in that regard. But you don't want to have stockpiles of cash, because it just loses value. You want to put that in investments. This isn't financial advice. It's just what I do. I'm not a financial advisor, so whatever I say here, just take it, with a grain of salt, as they say. But you want to, at least I want to, take that cash, if I have anything extra, and invest that in things that retain value. So, like I said, I'm not a minimalist. I will buy things that I think that I need, that I know I need, that I will use, and that will retain value and benefit my life. And that should be the way you look at it. Don't worry about having things unless, you want to live out of your backpack, live in a tent. If you want to live, in a van or something like that in your vehicle, then you need less things because you can't haul everything. But if you want to live in a home, then you need to have things to make your life better. But you want to pick and choose, what type of things that you actually buy. And don't, again, not financial advice, but for me, I don't want to stockpile currency. I need some on hand, like I said, to do the things I need to do with when I need to do it. But I would take my currency and invest it into things that retain value. And after you have, the things you need, like the tools and things to do what you need, rifles, handguns, whatever to hunt with, fishing reels and things, tackle, tools for your home business, maybe you need, once you have all that squared away, you don't need more. You can invest, your currency, if you have anything extra, in things like gold, things like silver, things like ammunition. Again, I'm getting into the prepper niche here, kind of, but gold, silver, ammunition always hold value. You can buy, if you bought 1,000 rounds of, say, 5.56, 223 ammunition, or 7.65 by 39 ammunition, 38, 9mm. If you bought that 1,000 rounds 10 years ago, it's kept its value. You could resell that, probably for more than what you gave for it. Just like the gold and silver, we know gold and silver has retained and increased in value, so you're actually investing and you're actually building your wealth at the same time. But anyway, that's just some of my thoughts on minimalism, being frugal, and investing. Again, not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a guy here in Tennessee, out here talking to you through this camera, and I hope that helps someone. I hope you liked the video. If you did, give it a thumbs. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, your philosophies in the comments below. If you haven't subscribed yet, be sure to do that, because I really appreciate it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video, hopefully.